everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon as we approach the end of Fairtrade Fortnight. My name's Patricia and I'm the Managing Director of Shared Interest. The reason we're holding our virtual events this week is so that we can demonstrate to you, our members, the impact that your investment is making to Fairtrade businesses across the world. Every year, we carry out two what we call longitudinal case studies on two of our customers. And what we try to look at is the impact of our lending over a 5-year period, so that you can see that the impact that your investment is having on these organisations, their sustainability and their businesses. So today we're going to look at Fairtrade honey in Mexico. Firstly, you're going to hear from Jason. Jason is our customer representative in Central and North America, and he will give an overview of the region and a general overview of the product. Secondly, you will hear from Laura, our marketing and communications manager, about the longitudinal study that we did carry out on a dossier. They've a honey customer since 2016. They were previously a customer many years ago, and then we started to work with them again in 2016, and they're based across the Mexican peninsula. There'll be plenty of time for question and answers at the end. So while we're going through, do please enter any questions that you have, and we'll get to as many as we can at the end. If you hover your mouse down the bottom of the screen, you should see the icon Q&A, and you just type in any questions you have there. We're also hoping, although well, he hasn't joined yet, but we are hoping that Miguel, who's the founder and managing director of Aduce, will be able to join us for that part of this event. So now I'm going to hand over to Jason, our customer representative in Central and North America.
Thank you, Patricia, and hello to you all. I hope you are well, and thank you for joining the event. My name is Jason, and I'm in Costa Rica, from where we have the privilege of supporting our customers from Central and North America. It is a pleasure to share an overview of the region with all of you who make our mission possible. This presentation is about becoming stronger together. Let's start with the portfolio composition. The total portfolio amounts to 16 million pounds distributed among 34 customers. 14% of these customers are buyers from North America, mainly from USA, and 86% are producers located in Central America. As you can see on the slide, most are from Nicaragua, followed by Mexico and Honduras. The next slide, please. Moving on to North America, the portfolio is composed of 6 customers, most of them focus on handcraft industry. Most of them are members of the World Fair Trade Organization and other Fair Trade certified. This organization has been long-standing customers of Shared Interest with an average of 24 years of continued relationship. One of the most valuable aspects is that they enable us to support rural producers around the world. At the bottom left with green glows, you can see Maureen, founder of Creative Director of Mata Traders, which works with rural producers in India and Nepal to bring fair trade clothing and jewelry to USA. The Siembra handles the sales of fair trade and organic cocoa and coffee in Canadian marketplace. You can see in Almeida, in image, or their chocolate bars under the brand Camino. Shown on the top of the slide are another customers focus on Fairtrade handcraft, with their products coming mainly for Ghana, South Africa, and India. Focusing, the next slide, please. Focusing on Central America, the portfolio is composed of 28 customers, most of them coffee producers. The people in the photo are beekeepers from one of our long-standing customers, Educe. Our honey customers are located in Mexico, in the south of the country. The honey cycles in Mexico vary by region as shown on the slide. Honey production depends largely on climate conditions, and in recent years, it has been highly concentrated in shorter periods. We mainly support our honey customers from April to June. So let's talk about honey. Next slide, please. Honeybees are reared in movable artificial hives. The hives consist of boxes that are stacked on the top of each other and have removable frames. The frames are filled with sheets of wax of which the bees bile honeycombs. Honey processing starts with the extraction of the nectar flow from flowers. Then, bees deposit nectar in their hives. The bees use their wings to fan the cells to prevent excess moisture, and then they seal the cells. Finally, collection of honey is carried out. Worldwide, 1.8 million tons of honey are producers per year. Last year, we carried out a longitudinal study of Educe, a cooperative society of honey producers from Yucatan, Mexico. Laura will share with us the results of this study. Over to you, Laura, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Jason, and thank you everyone for joining us today. So I'm going to share with you a little bit more about the cooperative Educe. So Educe are a beekeeping cooperative based in the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. The bee itself is actually recognized as a symbol of fertility and abundance with communities in the area. And the people in the region hold ceremonies to ask the bees for permission to harvest their honeys. They then thank the bees for contributing and for their generosity. Mexico's region is the 5th largest exporter of honey, and therefore the socioeconomic implications of beekeeping in the country are very far-reaching. There are roughly 43,000 beekeepers producing around 61,000 tons of honey annually, which equates to a commercial value of $67.9 million US. There is an extremely high demand for honey in the Mexican honey market and in the international market, with European countries such as Germany, Belgium, and Switzerland unable to meet production demands for the population. For many producers in the region, beekeeping is one of their main sources of income. Other activities such as cornfields and family gardens are also present. However, they exist really for subsistence. Currently in Mexico, in the Yucatan state in particular, the poverty rate has reduced from 53% in 2010 to the current level of 38.5%. This still means that more than 1/3 of the state's population is living in poverty, and this remains a significant challenge, particularly in rural areas like where the cooperative Educe are based. The honey that's produced in the region is produced using traditional methods, which involve the use of small wooden boxes called caches, which house the bees and collect the honey. These bee homes are placed in areas with abundant flowering plants, and the bees are left to forage and produce honey at their own pace. Once the honey is ready, it's then extracted using these simple tools and techniques, which cause minimal disruption to the bees and their habitat. I do say General Manager Miguel, who we are lucky to have joining us today, has told us during the study that for each kilo of honey that they market as Fairtrade, an additional 20 cents are paid to the farmer through the Fairtrade premium, which equates to around 9p. Odysseus honey is distinguishable for its purity and the variety of vegetation and the climate of the region. The honey is produced in special protected areas without the use of pesticides. And Odysseus works with community leaders to promote cultural exchanges among its members to ensure that Indigenous knowledge around beekeeping isn't lost. They also work with producers to preserve Indigenous flowers that give the honey a really indistinguishable taste that cannot be reproduced anywhere else in the world. There are over 2,000 flowering species situated in Mexico, and this can be credited to the unique favourable climate, which fosters a diversity of plants and ecosystems. In turn, the above average yields obtained by Odysseus are a direct result of their efforts to preserve that richness of the environment. So established back in 1997 as Odysseus, they are a cooperative which is dedicated to the production and export of fair trade and organic honey. Today, Odysseus represents the voices and interests of over 800 beekeepers in 40 different cooperatives, which span 3 states of the Yucatan Peninsula. This area is known for its production of high quality honey from what is called the Melipona bee, which is native to the region. These bees are actually stingless and are known for their unique honey, which is prized for its medicinal properties and distinct flavour. Odysseus initially established a relationship with Shared Interest back in 2002 when they first became a customer, and continued to work with us for several years after that before, as Patricia mentioned, re-establishing a relationship in 2016. They currently have credit from us in the form of an export credit facility and a stock facility, and they use this to build the stocks of their honey from the producers and pre-finance honey contracts. Since 2016, the producer groups Odysseus have supported increased from 63 to 113, as you can see detailed in more detail on this slide. These groups range from 1 to 140 members and are spread across 3 areas of the peninsula. Each producer, we were told, has an average of 35 hives, and hives are positioned within the main jungle, and the location has an impact on the volume of honey that is produced. Miguel told us that the location of the hives is really important in terms of pollination and also an increase in biodiversity. Fluctuating honey prices are a challenge for honey producers in the region, with prices always driven by demand. Beekeepers are incentivized to join Odysseus because of the higher price they offer them for their product, helping to reduce rural-urban migration and out-migration to the US. Odysseus also offer beekeepers training in sustainable apiculture, hive management, and also bee feeding. Odysseus honey is organic and Fairtrade certified, and the cooperative told us that these certifications enable Odysseus to stay competitive in the honey market and achieve a higher price for their product. Honey pricing is a volatile industry and can fluctuate from season to season. Consumer demand can drive these changes, and ultimately it's the beekeepers who suffer when the price is low. Fairtrade certification has enabled Odysseus to provide upfront working capital to its farmers rather than await final payout once their raw honey has been processed and exported. This allows investments in new beehives, in apicultural inputs, and also covering of other essential costs such as education, household sanitation, and healthcare for the farmers. Odysseus General Manager Miguel told us how the certifications have been really key for their beekeepers. In Mexico, there are 40 UNESCO World Network biodiversity reserves, which function as long-term refuges for biodiversity. According to the United Nations, climate change is playing an increasingly important role in the decline of biodiversity, altering terrestrial and freshwater ecosystems around the world. Specifically thinking about beekeeping, alterations in rainfall patterns and drought events, as well as an increased frequency in hurricanes and storms, are making flowering periods increasingly unpredictable. And this unpredictability makes it difficult for beekeepers to harvest the same amount of honey each year, as they must coordinate and anticipate flowering time to ensure that hives are ready for honey harvesting. This poses a serious challenge to the farmers who are threatened with losing a significant portion of their income. The impacts of climate change are also contributing to the spread of pests and diseases, which can affect bee colonies and honey production. EDUSI have taken a strategic approach to growth by being proactive to climatic changes like this, which threaten to reduce production and cause changes to harvest seasons. For example, the Co-operative has changed the location of the beehives that could be affected, promoted prompt communication with producers for honey collection activities, and also signed contracts with buyers at a later date to ensure their production levels in advance. As part of the study, we spoke to several beekeepers from EDUSI, and Maria, pictured here, was one of them. Maria and her husband Diego are both beekeepers with EDUSI. They live in an area called Izamal in the region of Yucatan with their 2 sons. Diego is the leader of their production group and has been a mentor for Maria and other women interested in beekeeping and becoming beekeepers. Maria told us that as well as welcoming women as beekeepers, EDUSI have supported her group to diversify their products to supplement their income. The EDUSI have also been providing workshops in how to make skin creams and throat sweets from the honey. And Maria told us she would like to gain more hives in the future and continue diversifying her produce. In the next slide, we're going to hear a little bit from Maria. So we've just got a short film here, which I'll play.
Hola, yo me llamo Anselma María Rejón Collí, tengo 38 años, nací el 30 de abril del 84, y pues desde que nací yo estoy acá en Xanabá. ¿Cómo sería mi vida? ¿Cómo es mi vida? Ser ama de casa y ser apicultora sí es un poco difícil, un poco complicado. Porque tenemos que los quehaceres de la casa, los niños en la escuela, y venir a un apiario es complicado. El ser ama de casa y tener un apiario se necesita de mucho. Digo de mucho porque es venir, el cambiarse, el entrar y el abrir, te lleva tiempo. Y si ves que pues uno está débil, uno está decaído, pues hay que ver por qué y revisar y ver qué le hace falta a esa colmena. ¿Cómo llego a la cooperativa? Pues como yo creo que sí, ahí entonces sí estaba lo del la mujer no puede haber abejas, no puede tener colmenas, la mujer no puede. O sea, en ese entonces eso pensábamos, eso pensé yo. Y ahorita pues prácticamente nosotros somos los que pesamos la miel, nosotros estamos haciendo fichas, él como presidente y pues yo como la acompaño, pues ya de ahí me fui involucrando más. Hay veces que él se va y me deja, me dice si trae miel pues lo vas a pesar y todo, y pues ya hago esa función igual. Y sin pensarlo, ya estoy más que involucrada y sí me gusta. Es algo que cuando estás en ese momento te sientes te sientes una persona importante. ¿Por qué? Porque está el fruto de tu trabajo que ya estás viendo ahora. Y nos integramos como mujeres, somos 10 mujeres, 10 compañeras. ¿Cómo lo vemos ahora? Como un trabajo que nos, bueno, a mí particularmente sí me está beneficiando mucho, porque yo tengo un dinero extra que es mío. Es un dinero que es mío, que yo trabajo. A mí yo lo vengo a cosechar. Yo lo llevo a vender, a mí me lo pagan. Es un dinero mío que yo trabajé. Y pues es un extra que estoy aportando yo a mi familia. ¿Cómo lo veo en un futuro? Pues aumentando mis colmenas, tener un poquito más y pues tener más de un apiario, porque sí se puede, sí se puede, sí se puede, sí se va a poder. Porque yo como mujer y apicultora, en un principio cuando nosotros veníamos a nuestro apiario, estaban los señores en el centro y veían pasar y se reían de nosotras, decían, ya, ¿qué van a hacer? ¿Lo van a dejar? 2, 3 veces que vayan, lo van a dejar, cuando las piquen, lo van... Y sí nos llegaron a picar, sí veía esas risas, sí veía esas risas que se estaban burlando. Pero ahí ahí pasábamos. Y le digo a mis compañeras, pues no lo vamos a dejar, no lo vamos a dejar. Y mira, ya tenemos 5 años. Y ahorita los señores solo nos ven, no dicen nada, no se ríen. Sí se puede, si realmente uno quiere. Sí se puede, porque realmente yo sí tenía miedo. En un principio no digo sino sí tengo miedo. El abrir una colmena y que salgan todas las abejas, yo no lo había vivido hasta que yo lo empecé a vivir. Pero ya de ahí no. Y yo le diría a otras mujeres que se animen y de hecho el otro grupo que estamos formando, a otras 10 mujeres, lo mismo les dije, va a haber sus altas y sus bajas. Pero no desistan, que sigan, que sí se puede porque pues yo ya tengo 5 años acá y primeramente Dios voy para más. Hola.
And just to let everyone know, you can read the full versions of these case studies on our website if you would like to read more. And that's the end of our presentation. Do we have any questions? Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Jason, can you put your camera back on, please? And can you stop sharing your screen so we can see everyone? Thank you. Miguel, would you like to put your camera on? I'm very happy that you can join us today. So welcome. I think that many of the questions we have, unfortunately, will be coming to you for answers. So, excuse me. So maybe I could start off with a question for you, Miguel. And I'm not sure I'm going to pronounce this right, but it's about the phenomenon of the varroa mite, which was initially related to colony collapse disorder, which was first reported in the United States in 2006. And our members asking, what is the impact of this for your partner beekeepers, and how do they respond to it? So could I ask you to answer that one?
Yeah, thank you.
Si
Jason,
necesita un poco de ayuda, con muchísimo gusto yo le puedo colaborar. Estoy a sus órdenes, pero si usted puede, don Miguel.
bueno,
Usted me
I
avisa.
try, my English is not good, but I try, the collapse of the hives is related to the varroa mite, but mainly to the excessive use of fertilizer and the crops where bees pollinate. The excessive use caused the disorientation or diet in Mexico. Pollination of crop is practices in the north part of my country. In the south, where we are, it is not. Here, transhumance is not practiced. However, there is a trade to the bees may collapse due to expansion of agricultural land, deforestation, and pesticides. Organized beekeepers have carried out political and legal protests, which have slowed down this trade. That is my answer about that. Here we haven't this kind of problem. We need to stay organized because it is the way when we got to fit with the varroa and the deforestation and other kind of phenomenon that exist in my region. But organized is the way, is the best weather what we can fit with that. The collapse of the honey, the CCD, is not a biggest problem for us. The biggest problem is deforestation, pesticide, and the increasing of the agriculture area. That is the problem. For us, it's very important to protect the area because we need the tree, we need the flower, we need the nectar, we need the pollen, and we protect the biodiversity. It's for that this is kind of fit some kind of interest to agriculture and our interest to protect biodiversity.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Miguel. Jason, maybe you can answer this second question, which is with what diseases do generally Mexican beekeepers have to contend with, and how could that affect the sustainability of the hives?
Yeah, common diseases in Yucatan Peninsula are varroa, mites, and the high beetle. However, both can be managed with good hive care. Good management involves keeping a clean apiary using stamped wax and older than 2 years, replacing the queen bee also every 2 years maximum. Not harvesting honey during short age, but harvesting is during the harvest season. And having adequate distribution of the combs. Brood chamber below, honey chamber above. A problem in recent years is the excessive presence of cutty hair. They enter the apiary, eat the honey, and leave everything destroyed. They also tend to enter it and destroy agricultural crops. The reason for this phenomenon is the decreasing of jaguar in the change on the land use from forest area is agriculture ones. Can you understand me?
Gracias, Miguel. Muy amable.
Yes, thank you. So this question is more about more for shared interest, I think, so I'll try and answer it. And it's more of a general one about climate change and asking how it's affecting our particular business. I mean, climate change is the biggest threat facing all of our farmers and artisans that we work with today. So it is a key lending risk for shared interest. Unpredictable rainfall, increased temperatures are all affecting the quality and the quantity of yields across all types of commodities and products. And it also leads to an increase in pests and diseases and a reduction in soil fertility. So as you can imagine, all of that leads to reduced income for our for our customers, which is a key reason and a key need to adapt farming techniques to be able to cope with these changes in weather patterns. Lots of work's being done by NGOs and as well as our own foundation is doing a lot of work in climate change. And as part of our last strategic review, we wanted to increase our knowledge and understanding of how the changing climate is impacting upon our customers and the portfolio. And so as part of that, we're now seeking strategic partnerships to help improve the understanding of the team here at Shared Interest as to how we can best work with customers to help them with their adaptation and mitigation. But I have to emphasize that we are not environmental experts here at Shared Interest. We are finance experts and international development, but it is key for us to understand and to try to support our customers where we can. And so the next question is about what type of flowers the bees actually forage for nectar. Jason, I don't know, maybe you could answer that one for us.
Ok, Miguel, ¿cuál tipo de flor? Bueno, usted entendió la pregunta, si no la entendió yo se la traduzco, pero si usted prefiere responder o usted me la indique, yo se la puedo traducir con muchísimo gusto.
Sí, es sobre el tipo de flores que tenemos acá, ¿no? Primero ella habló
Correcto.
sobre el cambio climático y los efectos, pero la pregunta en concreto es sobre el tipo de flores. ¿Es
Correcto,
correcto?
correcto.
Yo puedo
Entonces, no sé si
responderle, sí.
indica el tipo de flores, tal vez. Ujú.
Yeah, the different kinds of flower we have in your region is name is a local name is Sisiche, Javin, Pucté, is a lot of different kinds of flowers. One characteristic this kind of flower is that we have a lot of the smell. We can, si we stay 8 meters from the tree in the time of the crop of honey, we smell honey in the forest. We smell honey in the well area. That is one characteristic typical of the flower that we have in this region. Is for that the imported in Europe demand a lot of this kind of honey, but this is not one flower. It's a lot of different kind of flowers because this region is and there are a lot of biodiversity because it's a tropical area. In the same time, different kinds of flower open, then the bee goes to the flower to recollect the nectar and the pollen. And the conclusion is we have different kinds of flowers.
Thank you, Miguel. Jason, maybe you can answer this one yourself.
Yeah, okay.
Directly. How supportive is the government in the regions that you work in and local government and authorities in helping prevent deforestation?
Okay. I will ask it to Miguel and I will be responding.
No,
Miguel,
can you answer it yourself? I'm asking you to answer it.
Okay. The government give a lot of details about the situation. So in the region, we have a lot of risks about related with the honey production, depends of the largely of climate conditions. Hence, the production drops and change in the harvest timing affects to reduce the capacity to commercial and financial obligation. To mitigate this change, EDUCE has changed location on some apiaries, promote and improve communication and members for honey collection activities, and directly with the government, we have a lot of alliance with different organizations, and so they have to promote the good communication and a good relationship with them.
Great, thank you. So another question for Miguel then. If we're taking the honey out of the hive, How does that, I mean, does that actually deprive the bees of sustenance, or do the bees get their sustenance elsewhere, and by taking the honey it doesn't have an impact on the well-being of the actual hive itself?
¿Cuál es la pregunta, Jason? ¿Me la repite?
Vamos a ver, habla de un poco de las colmenas y un poco el manejo que están manteniendo con el tema de la colmena. Si gusta, me la traduce y yo con muchísimo gusto explico cómo es que lo están manejando y la sostenibilidad de esas colmenas.
Bueno, vi que una pregunta se refería a si es bueno o no sacar la miel.
Acerca también de la extracción y demás.
Este, it's important for us take the honey when have a lot of nectar in the wild area. When there are not nectar, we don't recollect the honey because the bee can to go outside of the beehive. We need to protect the food for the beehive. O sea, necesitamos, Jason, no recolectar la miel en la época en la que hay escasez, sino dejársela a las abejas como reserva para que las abejas tengan suficiente néctar, porque si no la reina emigra, se va.
Ok.
Y por otro lado, cuando hay suficiente miel, hay que recolectarla, porque también ellas tienen que tener espacio para seguir trabajando.
Ok, entonces la recomendación, don Miguel, es no recolectar la miel cuando la abeja reina está en producción.
No, la recomendación sería no recolectar la miel cuando hay escasez de néctar en el monte. Hay
Ok, no,
una época que es la primavera, que es cuando más néctar y polen hay. En esa época
ok.
sí hay que recolectar la miel. Fuera de esa época es mejor dejarla como reserva de alimentación para la colmena.
Don Miguel explains that they recommend don't recollecting the honey when the queen bee is extracting about all the production. So in this case, ¿quieres ampliar un poco más, don Miguel?
When we are during the time when we have a lot of flower to open, we need to recollect the honey. But the time when there are not flowers to open, we don't need to recollect the honey because we need to protect the beehives, because the queen and the worker in the bees worker have a lot of reserves inside beehive to protect the new population. It's for that we don't need to recollect the honey during the flower don't open. Only when the flower open is before winter, before summer y primavera, como se dice, se me olvidó, Jason.
Primavera.
La época de primavera es
Spring.
Spring. During the spring, during summer, it's possible to recollect the honey. After, not because there are no flowers. There are not a lot of flowers. Some flower open, but only for the beehive to beehive, so the bee can to eat.
That's great, thank you. Laura, I'm not sure if you can answer this question, but I'll put it to you and we'll see. And if not, we'll have to pass it over. But it's about the film that you showed. And apparently there was something mentioned about the hive that can become weak if something's missing. And also, how does the position of the hive change how honey is collected?
Okay, I'll do my best. So with regards to the position of the hives, as I talked about earlier in the presentation, there's lots of different sites in Mexico that house biodiversity and strong ecosystems, and do say work with the beekeepers to place the hives in areas with abundant flowering plants, which affects the amount of honey that's produced. So in the map that I shows there's a huge widespread of where the beekeepers are actually based around the three regions of the peninsula. And the reason for that is it's well planned with the cooperative and that affects how much honey is produced. Obviously, as we talked about, these the climatic conditions are changing. The impacts of climate change are having an effect on different on harvest seasons. And there can be fluctuations, I guess, in that in how much honey is being collected. But I do see her working closely with beekeepers to ensure that they can produce enough honey to meet their contracts. With regards to the affecting and the beehive becoming weak, it's something I might have to ask Miguel. I don't know if Jason could would you be able to just ask Miguel if there's any clarification on that? So Maria in the film mentioned that the beehives can become weak.
Que si usted quiere clarificar acerca de cómo las colmenas tienen todo este proceso que Laura estaba explicando, no sé si igual me lo puede indicar a mí y yo con muchísimo gusto también lo puedo traducir. O usted responde directamente como usted prefiera, don Miguel. Está en silencio por aquello.
¿Qué fue lo que explicó Laura? No lo entendí muy bien. ¿Qué explicó Laura?
Estaba explicando un poco el tema del manejo de las colmenas y cómo esto hacía todo el tema de la floración y demás. Entonces, si usted quiere clarificar o amplificar un poco acerca de cómo usted maneja las colmenas, cómo es el tema de la floración y todo lo que estaban respondiendo acerca de las preguntas.
Correcto. Yes, we can to work with the beehives, sustainable beehives, is we protect the bee. Who we can protect the bee? With help, we change the wax, to change the queen, to cleaning the apiary area, because if we not protect the apiary area, the other animal can't arrive. Hormigas, no sé cómo se dice,
Hormiga.
Hormiga, pero ahorita lo buscamos en el traductor.
Hormiga.
Hormiga, no.
Ant.
And maybe ant can't arrive to bees. There are some kinds of war between ant and bee to eat the baby's bee or protect the baby's bee, to eat the honey or protect the honey. It is some kind of army, the ants and the bee. And if we have cleaned the apiary area, the ants can to continue work, because they need to forest, because when there are forests, yes, the hunt stay protected. Their field is that the forest protect them. But if we clean him around the apiary, the hunt is not sure to continue working directly to the apiary. It's for that we need to clean it 2 meters, 3 meters around the apiary. This is one element very important. The other that I already talked about that is the other kinds of animal. Name is, ¿cómo dijeron que se llamaba el tejón?
Tejón.
El tejón, pusieron aquí el nombre.
Bagger.
Bagger. A lot of by there arrived today to the apiary, because the forest area is decreasing, and the jaguar died, and then the jaguar there are each year there are less jaguar in the region due to the decrease in the forest area. Is for that el otro, se me olvidó el nombre, el tejón.
¿Cuál era el qué? ¿El cuál?
El tejón que me dijiste, el...
Badger.
Miguel, you muted yourself there. Sorry, we can't hear you at the moment.
Se activó el audio. Then we need to protect the beehives. One of way when we protect the beehive is avec the duck. We have duck, and we are right to beehive with duck, and the duck give a lot of noise, and the other kinds of animal go out. It's one way to protect the apiary. But the best important is to stay clean the apiary, clean, and change the queen each 2 times a year, change the wax 2 times a year, and don't recollect the honey outside of season. Only we do to recollect the honey in the season. All the year in this region, is tropical area. All the year we have honey. Almost all the year we have honey, but sometimes there are honey to the beekeepers and ours and the bee, and sometimes only we have honey to the bee. It's in this time where we don't recollect the honey, because we need to protect the bee. No sé si con eso más o menos expliqué, Jason.
That's great. Thank you very much, Miguel. I'm afraid we've run out of time. We do have some questions that remain unanswered. We'll make sure that we do get a response to those people who've asked questions and we haven't managed to get to them. So I would just like to say big thank you to Laura, Jason, Miguel for being with us and answering as many questions as we could get through in the time. Thank you to you for joining us. I hope you found it interesting. And hope to see you again at a members meeting in the future. But bye for now.